Time for a natter about Necrons. Nick speaking, and welcome to this video. Right, time for another natter about Necrons. And in this video I want to cover destroyers, in particular heavy destroyers. Now this is a unit which I personally think is a little bit underrated for what they can do. Now I know a lot of people do use the heavy destroyers as part of the destroyer cult formation, and without that formation having the element of heavy destroyers, I don't think many people are actually using heavy destroyers. Now I've had some experience recently with some heavy destroyers, backed up with a video which I've seen from Super WarGamer on heavy destroyers, where he's using them quite a lot as his heavy support choices, and that really got me thinking about heavy destroyers and how I believe there is a lack of use for them. And I'm hoping that this video, this chat, is going to get some feedback on that, because I'm really interested to hear what you think of heavy destroyers. Have you been using them, and what you think of them? Now this of course is just a little chill chat, so I am going to have some coffee during this video, so let's have some coffee and we'll talk some more. Okay, so personally I've been using the heavy destroyers as like a sniper unit, and I've been taking single heavy destroyers, so one heavy destroyer taking up obviously a heavy support slot, but to be fair I don't tend to use many other heavy support slots. So it's not really too much of a problem for me, but I'd have 3 single heavy destroyers, and the way I would use them is I would hide the destroyer, and in the movement phase move them out, shoot my 36-inch strength 9 AP2 gun, effectively a shorter ranged las cannon, and then I can jump back behind the terrain in the assault phase out of sight. Literally a sniper unit. Now of course it's only a one-shot wonder, but it does have preferred enemy, so unless you rolled a 2 to hit, you are going to have a chance of hitting, because if you roll a 1 you can re-roll it. And then same to wound, it's obviously strength 9, and if you roll a 1 you can re-roll it. And of course yes, it is only a one-shot wonder, so the chance of you exploding a vehicle with that one shot, you've got to roll pretty well. I have done, I destroyed a ghost arc with a one-shot wonder, you know, but it's not always going to happen. But at least you've got that pesky unit there shooting a las cannon effectively every turn. It's also pretty good for taking out AP2 units, so if you had some Terminators you can pop off a Terminator, and like I said I generally have 3. So I've got 3 chances of taking a Terminator out, so that can whittle down the unit quite well before you send in your Wraiths or your Flayed Ones or whatever else you've got to either shoot or assault those Terminators. So having some AP2, having some slightly longer range in your army, because let's face it, Necrons aren't particularly long ranged. Yes, in that heavy support slot you've got the Doomsday Arc, but a single heavy destroyer is only 50 points. It's not much of a points investment. It can hold objectives. It's not objective secure or anything, but if you do have an objective at the back, like I said, you can hide the objective, hide the destroyer, pop out, hide them again. It's actually a really useful unit. It's something which your opponent has to deal with, especially if there is an objective there. So I'm really liking this single heavy destroyer sniper unit. I'm not saying it's optimal, but I think it's good for the points. 50 points. You know, it's toughness 5, it's 2 wounds, it's got a 3+ save, you've got your 5+ RP outside of the Decorium. So I like it. Now I mentioned Super WarGamer. Now he has 3 units of 3, so he has 9 heavy destroyers, which is the maximum you can have in a standard CAD. And yeah, now we just upped the game. Now we're talking about 9 strength 9 AP2 shots at 36 inches. Now I know Super Wargamer, he plays against quite hardcore lists with lots of Wraith Knights, etc. So those last cannons are obviously going to be very, very useful. But I think looking at that again from the competitive side of things, I think heavy destroyers again are pretty overlooked. 9 heavy destroyers, only missing on 2s. That's a good percentage of shots which are going to be coming in and causing you a lot of problems. So yeah, heavy destroyers, what do you think of them? I am really, really interested to hear your feedback. Now of course you can use heavy destroyers in a destroyer unit, so you could have say 3 destroyers and then add in a heavy destroyer, sort of hide that last cannon in the destroyer unit. Now the issue that I personally have with that is that the heavy destroyer gun is obviously a longer range than your destroyer gun, and it's also primarily an armour penetration gun as well, with your standard destroyers aren't. So I think that it certainly does work, but you may be limiting your shots because you can't split fire with that unit, so you've got to put all of those guns into one thing. So if there was a vehicle that you wanted to target with your last cannon, effectively your heavy gauze cannon, you'll have to shoot the rest of your destroyer guns there, although they're only 24 inches, so you're probably going to be out of range anyway. So I'm not convinced by mixed units of destroyers and heavy destroyers. I think it does have a place, it can work, it does work, but I don't know that it's the best option. I think you should just probably stick with single destroyer units and single heavy destroyer units. So, I think that's it, everything that I wanted to say about the heavy destroyers. Like I said, let me know your thoughts and feedback and comments. It's always great to see those in the comments box. That's it from me then. Thanks for watching.